Howdy folks. I figured I'd do a little voiceover here in the beginning, talk about a couple of things while we're showing some stuff thrown on the workbench. I want to let everybody know that this isn't really about showing you the features and the function of the 48 volt battery or the EV4 3000 EHV charge controller inverter from Signature Solar. We got guys like Will Prowse and Average Joe that have plenty of videos on how this stuff works. So I'm going to leave it to those guys. They're pros. They've done a really good job on their videos, as typical for those two YouTubers. This one's more about what I took to build a hand truck DIY portable solar generator and customized it. So this is all about the frills that you can add or then about, you know, what the functions are of the charge controller inverter and how this battery's got such and such cells in it. It's not about that. This is about customizing your gear and giving you those extra features that you may want to use, and how I went about it. So as I've said in the video multiple times, all the links are in this video description for where you can get these things. And I guess that's about it, really. Let us know if you got any questions. We'll try to take care of you in the comments, but let's see what you can do to do some customization. Enjoy it. Hey, look at that. Ferrule crimp now. Gotta love the ferrules. Wire, bracket, breaker, communication cables, and stuff we won't read. This would be the Wi-Fi dongle, I'm guessing. These are Wi-Fi dongle and antenna. We'll just slide this back over here. Thing on the bottom. And the Amazon stuff. Let's build something.
There we go. Sticking up a little bit, but that battery's going to push it all into place. Alright, got a mark on there. I'm going to put a little more of that rubber diamond plate on the frame of the hand truck, because you know this thing's going to rattle when you move it around. So once this is all cinched down on that rubber backing, it should be nice and quiet. Be right back. Alright, the battery strapped in. Had to get a little creative back here with the winding so I can keep the turnbuckle off of the ratchet off of the chassis of the battery. It's all strapped in now. If you look, you can see those strips of diamond plating, the rubber diamond plating I put on the base. So that's pinched right up against it. That should keep the rattling at bay. Alright, so got her mounted. And what we did some 1/4 inch bolts right through the hand truck. Hardware I use will be in the description. Now they're a little bit long, but I gotta take that off. I'll use a grinder and then a flapper to clean it nice. So those will come right through. The bracket at the top is a little offset. Let me see if I can get an angle on that. A little bit offset, so I put some more of that rubber diamond plating on the bottom. Now this thing, I'll look down the side for you, it's almost exactly as wide as the hand truck is. Here's the other side. And these suckers are tight, so I'm not worried about this thing going anywhere. I got the cover off. So next we got to hook up our AC and DC in, and we got to hook up the battery, which goes in there. I think you guys have all seen the bottom of this. Communication ports. There's our grommets to go in. PV, AC in, AC out. Generator remote start if your generator is equipped with it. We got power switch, recep switch, and then our 12 volt, or sorry, 48 volt from the LiPo battery goes up in there. And it's all tightened down with those screws. And this is all blocked off. I've got the front cover off. You guys have seen this before on this inverter, so no big surprise, but the cable is great that it comes with. It comes with a 4-aught cable, but it's certainly much too big for doing one of these emergency DIY hand truck type of deals. Let me show you. It's this thing's a beast. Let me string this out. Sorry for the shaky camera. It does come with the ferrule ends on it already, so that's kind of nice. But let's just say, you know, yay big. Whole tons of cable down there, so it's gonna have to be cut down. Let's see if I can zoom out a bit. So we got a pretty good sized gap. But you see, we're not going to need much. There's a whole bunch down there. So I think I'll keep the ferrules on there and just cut the ends and put some new ring terminals on there. We'll go from there. And then put this down. So the plan is we're going to go with a 20 amp surge, and we're going to cut this cable off, and that cable is going to be dual purpose. That'll be our AC in, and then what little I leave on the power strip, I think what I'm going to do is just to fix it right up here. Okay, so then we'll just have a power strip right on tap, and then this big beast under all of this nonsense is going to go in as well. We got a lighted three-way plug. This is also a 20 amp 12 gauge extension cable. Oh, sorry, 15 amp three-way extension cable. I believe this was, yeah, it's 10.3. So pretty heavy duty extension cable, 25 foot. And then the rest of this nonsense, we'll get to it all next. I'll be right back. Okay, here's where we got to. We have the heavy duty three-way extension cord, yellow, right there. And then we have the charging extension cord right there for plugging into the wall. PV isn't in yet. I'll be doing that here shortly. And then we have both the grounds tied together for input and output. And then our hot and neutral and you know, line for the other. And then our two neutral and hot for charging, also with the ground. So everything's grounded. I'm going to put a strap around these to pinch them off, to keep them from sliding out of the grommet, because they can move just a little bit if you wiggle them. So get that tied in. I'll get the cover on. Battery's already connected, and we had an outage between the first half of building this and what's going to happen after this portion. And it kept me going. We were out for a little over 3 hours and was able to kick back and watch TV, and refrigerator was plugged in, computer was going. I have a media server that's plugged in. Like, we were Gucci. Plenty of battery left over too. So, all right, next steps. All right, next up we got these utility hooks. They're 3/16 tapped already, so, well, not tapped, but you know, a through hole. So if you want to use these, here's what I did, and I'm going to use a few more, just give you an idea. So we got the main heavy duty extension cord, the yellow. We got the power strip up top, and I'll just use Velcro up here so that it's quick disconnect, and then I can pull it, you know, do whatever I need to do with it. Stick it back up there, and then I have the charging cable going around these hooks, and these hooks, so I just tapped through the frame of the hand truck, right? And I'll use a cutoff to finish those off, but they're nylon lock nuts, so, you know, torque them down within reason, and they're stainless, so no corrosion. And then we got another one up down here, and that one's inverted, so that one's hook down, so then I can just kind of, you know, twist them. So I got those stowed there, and then I'm gonna put a couple on the other side and just put some 25-foot extension cords there, so when I need to get this thing going around the house, when we lose power, we'll be good to go. So let me get those hooks in, we'll start some more video. Alrighty, so we're back. We got the hooks over there for the cabling, that's all in. And then we got the extra hooks here for the 25-foot extension cords. By the way, as you saw the still, there's a pretty good deal on these Amazon 25-footers. They're 16 gauge. Really nice solid jacket on them. And really good price. They're the Amazon Basics. I'm glad I got them. They come in a 2-pack. But yeah, they just kind of hang out like that. And I got a bunch of them, so let me see if I can get another one here. There's another one. I mean, it'll sit up there, but yeah, once they're unwound a bit, you get 2 of them on each hook, no problem. But yeah, it's still clear. So now I got to build a backing plate for the front of the hand truck here between the charge controller and the battery, and then I'll start mounting some other goodies there. I'm going to get quite a bit of progress on this till I come back, so hang tight. We got more stuff coming. I'm putting links for everything in the bottom in the description too, so if any of this stuff sounds like something you guys want to use, got direct links to Amazon for them. All right, be back. All right, so we got everything wrapped up wiring wise. These 2 primary cables from the battery are going to get shortened pretty close to the end, but now that back piece we're working on here. So this piece of MDF will go on that. I'm just going to hold it down with U-bolts made for 1 inch. We've got a 48 volt There we go, let's just see that. 48 volt to 12 volt, that's 30 amps max. I'm not going to come close to doing that. So this will run straight to the battery. I don't need the charge controller inverter turned on for this. I can just turn the battery on and this automatically gets power. And then we're going to go with an off-road light. Well, lights and whatever that you hook to it. Plus it's got this weather sealed USB 3.0 and USB-C. So that'll power, you know, in an emergency you can charge your phones or what have you. So that's on there. It comes pre-wired, so I'm going to take that notch out right there that I've already marked, and I'll run U-bolts into the corners. Those will attach to the hand truck, and then I've got some external power adapters, and that's the power adapter. So they're just a you know, a male-female plug. They come, I don't know, what is that, 10-inch, 12-inch long, and they've got little caps on them. So what we'll do is we'll cut those here. We'll use the primary 10 gauge to run off of the back end of these, and then these are panel mount, so I'll just put these along the top, probably put 4 of them or 2 of them or however many of them that I want, and then any accessory, which we're going to be doing, we'll have these on the end and they'll just plug in. The socket itself will be controlled by this. This is illuminated, and then there's a whole sheet of they're not decals, but they're like light masks that you can put underneath this cover, so you can basically label them with a picture. Let me see if I can get that for you. Here we go. One-handed. I know, sorry about the shaky camera work. So this is the little masks that go in that window, and as you can see, there's a whole boatload of them. So whatever you want to put to label them, then there you go. So 2 of these will be running floodlights. Let's see if these are out. These are made for off-road vehicles. I've already checked them out. They're LED. They're very bright. They have a very large aluminum heatsink that's powder coated. For one of them, this one I think, not this one, the other one, I've modified the bracket for it. So that's going to mount up here on top of that handle. And then the other one I'm going to put on a tripod through the base mount right there. So you can put a tripod on it. I'll just use a nut on the top. And then I'll lash that down here with the Velcro straps to hold it in place. So what that'll do is, you know, in case we have power outage, that'll have a long extension on it with that 10 gauge. And then I can set it up down a hallway or in a living room or, you know, outside or wherever we need to put it. Independent of the one that will be on the hand truck that will light whatever I want to light with that. So that's what we're building here. Got some cutting to do, some strapping to do. I'll probably paint this black. Yeah, I'll probably paint it black, this MDF. We'll see how it goes. All right, I'll be back with more. Quick little addition. These Forstner bits, they're the way to go, man. 3/4 inch is the diameter on that back. Slots right in there. Anyway, thought I'd mention it. All right, panel's pretty much ready to go. Put some paint on it. Waiting for that to flash off, and I'll put one more coat on it. Kind of get them lines you can see in it out. And we'll get to mounting it. Yeah. What are we missing here? I guess we still need to make the holes for the U-bolts to hold it to the frame of the hand truck, but pretty close. We just got to give it another coat and we will be good to go. Be back with more. Okay, panel's done. I just got to get it mounted. I got to pull this stuff over to the side a bit. Got some wire management to do. Got to wire everything up on the back, and I'm going to bring it up probably about right there. Give a little bit of room between both units. And then I've got these quick disconnects, so I'm going to power all 4 of these off of this switch. I'll have an auxiliary that's going to go, number 4 will go up to the permanently mounted light I've put on top. Let me go ahead and show you that. Up we go. So that's mounted right there on top of the hand truck. And that'll just wire into the 5th switch because it won't be on one of those circuits. And that's pretty much it. So I got to run leads from the, I guess we can call it a transformer, from 48 volt to 12 volt. So I got to run a set of those down to the main terminals. That'll power up the switch. These will light up. The switch has auxiliary outs to each of these, and then the 5th one will be to the permanent light up top. And then I'm going to wire all of these with the extensions that were the other half. These are all screwed in now. So you pull this off, this will wire up to whatever I'm going to go to, and then they just plug in like so. And they're good for about 10 amps, plenty for what I'm going to be doing. Even the bright off-road lights are only pulling about 2, so not a lot of power going to be coming out of this, but nice to have some accessories. And then I think I showed this a little bit ago, but we got the USB 3 and the USB-C for charging. And that's all done internally regulated inside of this pod. And then these are just straight 12 in, 12 out. So that's where we're at. So I got to get the U-bolts figured out, and then I've got to do some wiring, and then we'll be getting really close. All right, guys. That appears to be your wrap. More light on there. So I added this 30 amp breaker in line with the converter from 48 to 12 volt. And then this runs up and hits the distro. All of our plugs are in. And put our extensions on there. I haven't decided what I'm going to use there yet. Let me get my fingers out of the lens. But yeah, they just plug in like so. Yeah. Alright, let's fire up. Got some extension cords here. That's the spotlight that goes on top. It's on the hand truck itself mounted. And then I use some screw through zip ties to kind of manage the cables. Another strain relief. There's strain relief inside, but then they're also locked down on the panel that we created. Yeah, let's fire it up. Get the breaker, which will also pre-charge the charge controller. Alright, it's on. Lights just came up here. Voltage meter's reading 12.1 going to it from the converter. If I hit the breaker, kills all power coming out of this. So this whole thing's on a breaker, 30 amp. Okay, and then I haven't put any of the masks in, but they all have power. They all have an individual output. Let me zoom out. So I ended up putting, it's different from what I said earlier, but I ended up putting, if I can get back here far enough, I ended up putting the light on top on switch 1 instead of switch 5. So here we go. Yeah, it's super bright. And then I'm going to put another one on one of these with an extension set of cable on it with a little tripod, like I was mentioning earlier. That way I can string it out down into another room or whatever for light. But that's it. This should be charged. Let's fire that up. Full battery. Nothing happening. There we go, 120 volts. We have no draw on it, but we'll come up here. You can see that goes live. All right, so that's live. And if you look at the 3-way connector for the heavy extension cord, that's got a light in it. So everything's live. We're ready to go. I think that's it. Shorten the battery cables, as I mentioned I would do. You pull one up. That's how much we took off. Pretty good length. And then those are those screw through zip ties to lock everything kind of out of the way. And I cut a hole for another clamp, but this this hook, it was in the way, so I just got the one up there and the two down here. They're locked down, they're good and tight. I cranked them. This thing is not moving. Just the stuff rattling is the cables in the power strip. So that's it. Have any questions, hit me up. Again, I'll put a whole list of items down in the video description in case you need any of this stuff. You're fixing to build something like it, head on out. We got them all on Amazon. I got a couple of screw boxes at Harbor Freight, but for the most part everything here came from Amazon, with the exception of the controller and the battery. Those came from Signature Solar. You guys know the deal with those guys. Top notch. That's it. I got nothing else. Catch you all on the backside. Let me know if you have any questions.